Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to our read-through of Mecha Ace. Sorry about missing last week, I was out of the country, but we will continue with Episode 6 right now. Episode 6, A Desperate Retreat, an Unlikely Encounter. Caliburn Battle Group, in transit to Fleet Base Crown, Fedria System. 36 hours later. Caliburn to Mithril Lead. The incoming message shakes you free of your fugal state as your eyes focus on the glowing panels of your cockpit panels in front of you. Escort duty has never been a particular favorite of yours. Long hours of staring at nothing and hoping that none of the points of light turn out to be an incoming enemy is not an enjoyable way to spend the day. In this case, however, your inattention comes from something other than mere boredom or ambivalence. Mithril Lead, this is Caliburn. Respond. The last day and a half have not been restful ones. While the Caliburn and the remaining ships of the Kodak Battle Group were able to make an escape from Vedria, you've had to escort typo. The handful of remaining evacuation transports to the safety of Fleet Base Crown, where the rest of Kodak's main battle fleet is waiting. This means keeping pace with the much slower civilian vessels and constantly guarding them from possible lightning raids by the combat armatures of the pursuing Imperial Grand Fleet. For you, that's meant being on a constant emergency patrol cycle. In all honesty, I don't think it's our top priority, but I think it's more than... I think it's part of our job. While the conception of duty certainly makes the monotony of escort duty easier to stomach, it's not as if you have a choice. With the other combat armature lances in the battle group severely depleted, your outfit is the only one still capable of flying cover for both your home carrier and civilian transports. It's meant long hours in the cockpit, and a truncated detox cycle, giving you barely enough time to purge the combat drugs from your system before you have to get up for a new sortie and take another dose. The result has not been particularly pleasant for your physical or mental well-being. You reach forward and activate the comms console. This is Mithril Lead. Send. Mithril Lead, we have unidentified contacts closing fast from the direction of the enemy fleet. We need you and Mithril Lance to confirm and engage if hostile. Keep them away from the evacuation ships, Watanabe adds. Well then, best get this over with. You acknowledge your new orders wearily and inform your Lance into formation. They respond with equal exhaustion, their fatigue even showing through the ragged movements of their machines. They've had to put up with the same schedule you have, and their relative lack of experience has negated any advantage they might have received from their younger, less war-ravaged body. You go through the standard pre-combat status checks as your Lance forms up behind you and you give the order to advance. A few minutes later, you see the unidentified contacts come into range of your own tactical sensors. The distant blips appear on your screen, colored a bright red. Your machine's IFF package identifies them as hostiles. You open a channel to the rest of your Lance. This is Mithril Lead. Contacts read as hostile. Confirm? A moment later, a Sadie appears on your comm screen. Confirmed, boss. Enemy contacts read hostile, she responds wearily. The two of you hadn't any time to talk properly over the last few days, but you get the feeling that the constant patrol cycle is getting your wingman even more than it's wearing you down. What are our orders, boss? You relay your findings to Caliburns. Within seconds, you get a reply. The captain wants you to engage the enemy. You are under no circumstances to allow them to attack the civilian ships or the Caliburn. Armed with your new orders, you move forward to get a closer look and zoom in on the metallic specks in front of you, each glowing with the halo of thrusters on full burn. Your eyes narrow as a more detailed image coalesces on your main display. 5 Veliers charging forward towards you at full speed. 4 of them are the bare gunmetal gray of the Imperial military, but the 5th, the one leading them, is adorned in bright blue and white. Oh shit. A mechanical chirping fills your cockpit, and your hand automatically reaches for your comm console. A pale, aristocratic face appears on your screen, half hidden by a sky blue mask. We meet again, pilot. Oh shit, this is not good. I look forward to facing you again, Hawkins says, his eyes intent. I have been fortunate to find someone capable of matching me in battle. Battles betwixt those like us are a rare Battles betwixt those like us are such a rare pleasure. The Imperial Ace and the quartet of enemy machines formed up behind his, continue to close with you. With time growing short, you open a channel to your lance and discuss tactical options. Unlike the last time, you simply can't retreat. If Hawkins trails your units as it withdraws, the Imperials would be able to attack the Caliburn and undefended civilian transports. Running away is not an option. As the most skilled pilot in your lance, you would be best suited to face Hawkins. Thus, the most obvious option would be to face the Imperial Ace while the rest of your lance deals with the 4 machines accompanying his. With what you learned about Hawkins in your research, you know that the Imperial pilot would likely try to get you in a one-on-one duel anyway. Alternatively, you could order your lance to engage Hawkins while you dealt with his accompanying escort. While you have little doubt that your skills would be able to prevail against the regular Imperial pilots in regular Imperial machines, even outnumbered 4-1, your lance would be hard-pressed to deal with a pilot as good as Commandant Hawkins. Hawkins would definitely try to engage you personally in single combat, regardless of the circumstances, and would aggressively tear through your lance mates if they tried to get in his way. Your unit will almost certainly take losses, but it would likely prevent you from having to face the Imperial Ace alone. Lastly, you could perhaps try to stall Hawkins by talking with him. That might buy you some time, or even give you a way to get Hawkins to call off his attack altogether. How will you act? Oh, I'm taking out Hawkins. It's revenge time, and now we know not to try and engage him in one-on-one. Also, we have the better ship, or the upgraded ship, so let's do it. You push your throttles forward, surging ahead of your lance's formation. Alright, Mithril Lance, I'm engaging the lead machine. You guys take the others. Boss, you're going to engage the blue mask by yourself? Mithril 4 seems worried. Just because you held your own against the famed enemy once doesn't mean you can do it a second time. Yeah, we're going down here if we are going to die. Your subordinate will get nowhere by objecting, though. Your mind is made up. Absolutely. Keep the escorts off my back. I'll deal with Hawkins. A second later, your lance mates acknowledge your orders and break off. You, on the other hand, continue to push forward towards the Imperial Ace. Hawkins' escort breaks off from their own formation, moving to engage your subordinates. As far as you're concerned, the battlefield consists solely of you and your Imperial counterpart. How do you plan on fighting this duel? I am absolutely doing this long range. He might have learned something, but it's still our best shot. Oops. Just dropped my mic. You pull out your particle rifle and aim at the incoming Imperial Ace, pulling your own machine back as you do. The enemy pilot senses your intentions almost immediately, and his steady, rapid advance turns into an erratic dance, each pulse of the battle's beat bringing your opponent closer. You aim as best you can at the charging Imperial Ace and open fire. Unfortunately for you, while your shooting skills might be considered good, they aren't good enough. Hawkins dances and twists his machine around your fire, flowing like water around each increasingly desperate shot fired from your weapon, closing with frightening speed all the while. Within seconds, the Imperial Ace dodges past your last shot and closes into melee range. The enemy pilot's infinitely swifter Valier custom is upon you in an instant. The enemy's machine's offhand lashes out lightning quick. The unexpected backhand stroke sends your particle rifle flying out of your own machine's hands. The Imperial Ace, face still displayed on your comm screen, shakes his head. I'm afraid it won't be that easy, pilot. I must insist we settle this in a more primal fashion. Hawkins rushes forward, pinning your machine with the Valier Customs offhand, while positioning his monosaber to strike at you. Well, this ain't good. A Sadie to the rescue? The Imperial pilot's expression is one of deep disappointment. It appears that your skills have atrophied since we last faced each other. I'd expected much better from you, pilot, especially considering your impressive performance in our last engagement. He muses as he lines up a finishing blow. Perhaps next time you may prove that your first impressive attempt was more than mere luck. An instant before Hawkins can strike the final blow, the Imperial machine springs backwards. Half a second before a barrage of particle rifle and autocannon fire tear through the space that the Valier Custom had just vacated. The Imperial ace makes a hasty retreat, putting distance between the two of you as the other pilots of Mithril Lance sweep down upon him, their own opponents reduced to shattered wreckage. Perhaps this is a blessing in disguise, the Imperial pilot says as he continues to fall back. You have been rescued so that we may face each other again one day. The loyalty of your underlings has bought you precious time to hone your skills. It is clear Hawkins has no intention of fighting both you and the rest of your lances at the same time. Apparently, the Blue Mask has a preference for one-on-one duels. The Valier Custom faces you as its pilot gets in the last few words. I hope you shall fight better when we meet again, pilot. Your lancemates quickly form a protective escort around you, covering your machine's rear and flanks. You can see that a few of your lancemates, Retzers and Grenzers, carry some light damage and a few deep gouges where Imperial monosabers had bit their armor, but for the most part, your fellow pilots have done well for themselves, having taken out all 4 Imperial machines without a single loss. That was a close one, boss, Asadie says, her face popping up in your unit-wide channel. Good thing we got rid of those impies quick enough to lend you a hand, huh? There's an air of arrogance to your wingman's tone, as if you couldn't have salvaged the situation yourself. Maybe your subordinate needs to be put in her place? No. We're going to thank her, because I'm pretty sure we are about to get shanked. Thanks for the assist. Asadie nods and grins back at you. This is the first time you've seen the Insing smile in a long time. We've all had bad days, boss. Don't worry about it. Yeah, there we go. That's the kind of attitude we wanted. She's giving us the excuse. We don't have to make it for ourselves. Even so, you have to wonder how much of a hit your reputation as one of Codex's best pilots is going to take, especially considering the contrast between how quickly you were taken apart by Hawkins in your duel and how quickly the rest of your lancemates managed to defeat Hawkins' escort. After 5 years of war, some might have considered you to be a slump, or worse, past your prime, after a disappointing performance after such as today's. Had you denied that you needed help, you might have been able to find a way to save face, but having admitted your need for assistance, people would begin to wonder. You shake your head clear of your thoughts. It's probably best not to dwell on it too much. Yeah, we're not going to dwell on it. Whatever. We're alive. Your lance begins its way back, your heavily damaged machine under heavy escort, guarded on all sides by particle rifles and autocannons of your lancemates. As your unit begins the long trip back, you calm the Caliburn to make your report, informing your home carrier of your failure to best the Blue Mask is hardly a happy duty, but it is an obligatory one. You dial in your comms carrier signature and open a channel. A moment later, Watanabe's face appears on the comm screen. We copy, Mithril Lead. Report. Contacts confirmed to be the Imperial Combat Armatures led by Blue Mask. Watanabe pauses, shocked for a moment. Maybe the kid never heard about your previous run-ins with the infamous Imperial pilot. That's a bit of a tongue twister. Excited, the kid turns to relay the information to the captain behind her. She turns back a moment later with a more sober expression. How many losses did you take? He beat me, you growled. He beat me in a fair fight. The kid's expression is neutral, almost as if she doesn't care at all. She takes a deep breath. Get back to the Caliburn and have your damage patched up. We're still more than a half day out from ground station. The captain says we need you back on patrol as soon as possible. You nod wearily. You still have a long way to go before you can rest. Ugh. You have reached a checkpoint. Oh, save. Yes, I would like to save. I guess I don't need to read that. Progress saved. Hooray. Oh, and I guess this is a short part. Our duel with Blue Mask pretty much took up the whole chapter. Anyway, I will continue, and we will see you guys next time. Later.